All right, we are live. I hope we're live. We've been having a lot of issues lately. I think I know what it is, but hey, welcome to Arts Place Live, number 70, Conservative Talk from a different view. So let me go send another invite to Lloyd, and then we'll pop him back. Okay. Okay, cool. Alrighty. Yes, we are live. All right. Okay, great. We are back, and let's welcome my co-host, Lloyd Mendenhall. Okay, let's get him in.
All right, there we go.
I
Are
think
we
I know
live
what
now?
happened.
What?
I clicked on the wrong icon. I thought I was clicking on the Arts
Arts
Place
Place?
one, and it was like if I go over the next one over, that's the one. All right,
Oh.
we are here, ladies and gentlemen. Oh boy, I thought we were going to have another episode, kind of like what happened with Greg Coonert over
Greg?
at
Yeah.
Odds by Drone, but we
Okay,
got
we
it
got
all
guys.
worked out. I ended up
Phew.
backing out of vMix and just using regular StreamYard stuff. So,
Right.
all right, welcome everybody. Mitch, old guy in a drone, Steve
Oh, there
Carpenter,
we go.
Rick Halber. Welcome everybody.
Oops.
So, what we're going to talk about today, we're going to talk about the riots that happened here last night here in Denver, and probably going to have some in Aurora tonight, because this is the 1 year anniversary of the death of Elijah Cummings when he died while in custody of the Aurora police. So,
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I remember that now. Yeah. Oh,
so I am. I don't watch the news anymore. I'm just so done
yeah.
with the bias BS
It's
on our
gotten
local
ridiculous.
stations and on our network stations. So I am cruising through Facebook and I see this thing. There's a tree on fire right at the police headquarters. I'm like going, holy crap! That's just down the street from where I work.
Where you work?
And,
Yeah.
and I watched the video and I'm like going, that's less than a block away from where I live. It's just right around the corner
Oh,
from
wow.
us. And this was being shot from the Channel 9 News helicopter. And I could see our building in the background, and it's all lit up. I mean, all the light, it looked like somebody turned on all the lights inside the building. And I think
Right.
what happened was some of those idiots probably did something and set off the alarm, because you know how they have those really bright emergency lights when
Yeah.
the alarms go off,
Right.
and it looked like it was lit up. And
Wow.
plus we own a couple little houses that are right on the corner, and they look okay because we put the company put a fence around them
Around
to
it.
keep the homeless people out, because the homeless
Yeah.
people like to camp out in the backyard and they end up trashing the place.
Yeah.
So they put up a great big chain link fence around it, and hopefully to keep those idiots out. And so we own those two houses. We own that whole block from
right.
Colfax to 14th Avenue and Fox and Gallopake. We own that whole block there.
Wow.
And the building where the executives work out of, that used to be the DeVille Motel.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And that's
Yep.
where all the rock stars used to stay
Yep.
back in the 60s and early 70s when they came to Denver to do a concert, either
Yeah.
at the Coliseum or I don't know if Betcher did any concerts there. I think it was over at the Coliseum.
Coliseum,
Which
yeah,
is
usually.
That's right over there by the National Western Stock Show complex.
Right. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah. Yeah. My
Yep.
uncle, who lives there, he's still alive and he's living there. He lives in Denver now. I'm not sure where at, but he still drives limo part time. He's like 77,
Wow.
78.
Right.
He might have finally retired, but I doubt it. But he drove, he worked, started out as an ambulance driver and then went to a limousine service and then ended up, because he did so many funerals, ended up working for the Dunes funeral home,
Right.
which was a big funeral home at the time. And they've sold out.
Right.
And then he got out of that business completely, but and went into hotel management, and he operated the hotel over there across from Stapleton.
Oh, okay.
And but part time he was still driving limos, and so he got to drive a lot of those rock stars around.
Oh,
He'd
cool.
pick them up. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He said the thing about the monkeys is he says that's sort of what they smelled like. They didn't know what a bar of soap was. But yeah, he did a lot of the driving for those rock stars in the 60s,
Right.
early 70s. And but yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
But, and I got some cousins that still live there, but yeah, he did a lot of driving up there, but
Right.
I just can't believe they're burning down stuff like they are. This is,
Well, and not only that, they're just right up the street on 14th. There's a Quiznos. They smashed out all the windows.
Yeah.
Then there's just to the south of us, there's a new apartment complex, and on the lower level, there were going to be some shops in there. Well, those windows got smashed out, from what I hear. So
yeah. One of the things that, let me change some things around so I get where I can read stuff. But one of the things that they talked about, I've heard bantered around, was they're saying, well, this is for reparation, reparation to what happened to our ancestors. Well, I'll answer that in a minute, Steve, but I just saw his comment. But the whole thing is they're damaging businesses in the areas where a lot of the blacks live. And yet Black Lives Matters are saying how does a broken window in your business give you, how does that repay you for your ancestors' slavery? There is absolutely zero sense to any of this. It's anarchy at its best,
It's
at its worst, I
anarchy,
guess you say.
and it's Marxism.
Marxism, yep.
They think that destroying businesses and then government will take over the business, and that everybody will be paid equitably. And it just doesn't work that way. I mean, that's what happened. I mean, if you watch the Russian Revolution, that's what they did in the beginning of the
Well, look at the
Soviet
French
Union.
Revolution.
Yep.
They did the same thing.
Yep. And
yeah,
it's not just here in Denver. It's
all over the United
around
States.
The country.
Yeah.
In Portland, they're still rioting. Businesses.
I'm saying build the wall around Portland and let it go.
Yep.
Let them have it. They want to be their autonomous. And leave the mayor of Portland in there behind the wall, because that person doesn't deserve to be out from behind a wall. Just turn it into a giant, just like Escape from New York.
Yeah,
with
that's right.
Oh, hang on.
Uh-oh, is that Greg calling?
No, it's my wife.
Oh, okay. Well, I want to say hello to Brian at BMAC Aerial Visuals and Agent K. Welcome to the show. Sorry for the delay, guys. We had some technical issues. This dummy here pressed the wrong icon to. I thought I was pressing the icon for my YouTube channel, and so we got
I'll be
it
back
all
in
straight.
just a second. Got to go
All
help the
right,
wife.
I'll bump
I'll
you
be right
out,
back.
and then I'll bring
Okay.
you back in. All right, so yeah, in Portland, there's still rioting. It's been over 90 days. It's quickly approaching 100 days of rioting, and now and up in Seattle, you know what? Seattle and Portland, they're still demanding these businesses to pay their taxes. How the heck are you going to pay taxes if you don't have income? Because these idiots have destroyed your business. So if I were them, I would just declare bankruptcy, take the insurance money, and get the hell out of that town. I mean, those people voted for the people that ran that town, that city into the ground. And you get what you voted for. Elections have consequences. So it just it drives me nuts. Now I live just outside Detroit, out in the suburbs area, and just to the north of there, that was a blue collar / white collar neighborhood, and I watched how Detroit just elected one corrupt mayor after another. Coleman Young, he ran that city into the ground. He was crooked as can be. He was taking kickbacks from the heating oil companies. And then the guy Archer after that, who tried to clean up the town, but he had a corrupt city council. And that city just kept going down, down, down. And then when Kwame Fitzpatrick got in, I mean, he was into bribes and taking kickbacks until he finally got caught. And his wife was involved in it. She was on the city council. So he's still in jail. He's still waiting to get on parole so he could get out. So now the city was in receivership, and it's slowly but surely starting to come around. So let's welcome back Lloyd Mendenhall.
Oh, okay.
Well,
yeah.
I was
What have you
talking
moved
about
on to?
Detroit, how we went into a succession of corrupt mayors and city councils, and until finally the city just went broke. And this was at the time when the state legislature and the governor were Republicans, and they, put in people to turn that city around, and slowly it started turning around. But have you noticed Detroit hasn't had the problems that Chicago and Seattle and Portland have been having with riots? I mean, I'm not hearing anything about rioting down there by Tiger Stadium, or Ford's Field, what it is called now, and the Renaissance Center. I'm not hearing anything about businesses being looted or destroyed down there. A couple of weeks ago, maybe it was a week ago, in Chicago near the Miracle Mile,
Right.
there's a Ronald McDonald House there.
Yeah.
And they broke into that and they looted that with families with sick kids.
I know. This is just. It's. I'm at a loss, to be honest with you. I'm so frustrated, and I, I got some grandkids that, they drank the Kool-Aid. They're bleeding
Yeah.
heart liberals. I got one granddaughter she lives up in Oregon, and she may live at Portland. And I got a niece that lives up there. They're both bleeding heart liberals, and they just, I have no use for that. And
Yeah.
it's just, it just doesn't make sense. I don't see what that party has to offer. I don't see it. I don't see what there is to offer, or what they're not bringing anything for the
Positive
betterment of this country.
to be
Nothing
able to
positive. Yeah,
help the people. Yeah.
yeah, and that's what supposedly that's what the Democrats are supposed to be all about. Social leaders, socially enlightened, or whatever.
Yeah.
They're a
Yeah,
bunch
helping
of
the little
communists.
guy.
Yeah,
When they're about is retaining power and helping out their buddies, their crony
yeah,
capitalists, you know.
yeah. Well,
And what
look
they
at
do
how.
is they put up these oh God, what's that called? Oh God, I'm having a brain fart right now. I'm so
Yeah, yeah.
the
I know. My mind's. I
regulations. That's what I'm
Yeah,
thinking.
regulations. Okay.
They put those regulations up to help their buddies to prevent new companies from coming in that may have a better product or make competition that might
Right.
make their buddies work a little harder and put out a better product. No, they don't do that.
Yeah.
And it
Yeah.
just,
And yeah. Well, I mean, let's look at Disney for an example. They've gone so far from what Walt had in mind,
yeah.
and they've become so liberal, and now they've got a monopoly on so many things now. As far as, I mean, they own 90% of the studios out there,
Yep.
and nobody stopped them. Nobody said, "Hey, this isn't right." They're just buying up each studio and or merging with them.
Yep.
Yes, exactly. They're trying to.
What I like to see Trump in his next term is I think they ought to start breaking up some of these media monopolies.
Yeah.
Because we're getting too much control by one side of the issue on the party.
Yeah.
We need to break them up to where there are several smaller media outlets to put out a product that people will want to watch. Instead, now they're putting out this garbage that's why I stopped watching network shows anymore, because it's garbage now. And the ones that I like, they're getting canceled because they're police dramas or they're police shows. We can't have those.
Yeah. I know, it's just so disheartening, but they're hurting themselves, I think, in a lot of areas, and I think there's a lot of people getting fed up with it, and I'm hoping that shows up. In the it's owned by 6 corporations. That's the problem. You're right. Yeah, and I'm hoping people will. I don't know if Trump can win or not. It depends on how many dead people vote in this election.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Well, here's the deal. I think the police unions, they're all going to go for Trump.
Yeah, and that's going to be a switch. Yeah.
But postal unions, they're not going to vote for Trump. tick them off.
Well,
And
yeah,
I agree with why he's doing that. I mean, all these states have done mail-in
yeah.
balloting have done a terrible job. Here in Colorado, we've been doing it since 2013, and we're like in the top 3 for mail-in voting. So we're doing it. We're doing it right because we've
Well,
got systems in place to make everything run smoothly. Where these other states, well, they don't set them up right. They don't
yeah.
have the pre-election to get that going, and then you have the election, and then you have the post-election to find out, okay, what can we do to make this work better?
Well, my problem with mail-in ballots is they're just too easy to manipulate, in my opinion. And these states that are wanting to do it now just because of COVID, which that's the whole purpose of the COVID
Yeah.
being so bad, being done the way it is, they don't have, I mean, we're talking hanging chads all over
Yeah.
again.
Well, it
You know,
comes down to valid signatures. That's where they have
yeah,
to validate these
yes,
elections because Colorado has been doing it for so long that there's a record of your
yeah,
signature.
yeah.
And
And
these states they're just starting to do it, well, they don't have that record, or their
right.
records are very new and they can't verify the signatures. So there
Well, and
have been a lot of ballots that have been thrown out because they can't validate the
yeah.
signature because
Well, not
what
only
they
that, some of these states aren't requiring voter ID. You know,
yeah
I think you should have to. I mean, I carry a voter card, and when I go in to vote, I have
yeah.
to show my registration card and my ID. You know, to
Well, it used
verify.
to be if you wanted a library card, you had to have some form of
Yeah,
identification.
yeah,
I mean, there are a whole lot of IDs that you need an ID to get something.
yeah,
I mean, what's
yeah,
so hard about showing identification for voting? You know,
yeah.
they
Here
say,
in
"Oh, that
Oklahoma,
suppresses the vote." And I'm like, "Bull! That's bull!"
I just saw what he said. Lloyd, Lloyd, a bona fide one. He goes, "What's up, Big Lloyd?" Uh, Yeah, if you can go and protest in person, then you can vote in person.
Yeah,
Exactly.
there you
Yeah.
go.
You
Good
know,
point.
the
Yeah,
the whole thing is like here in Oklahoma, uh
yeah, that's
if
true, Steve. Hmm.
in Oklahoma, you can actually register to vote when you get your driver's license renewed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I
And
get
that's a perfect
registered online.
oh, I can
I
too,
can
but
change it.
uh
And
but
it's not
like
really hard.
Thursday and Friday was early voting for Tuesday's vote. But if you had to get it mailed in by 5 o'clock on Friday. It had to be stamped for 5 o'clock Friday.
Right.
If you didn't get it, if it was doing a mail-in vote, or maybe it's Thursday, I can't remember now.
Yeah.
But they were doing here in Muskogee. They were doing. There's people out campaigning for the sheriff's office here, and they said Thursday, Friday, early voting,
Yeah.
which meant you had in this downtown area, so you had to go. Uh, you had to go to the election headquarters
Hmm.
or the precinct. No, you had to go to the county,
Right.
whoever, one of the offices downtown, one of the state
Well,
offices,
and
the
another
election
thing,
board.
if you don't want to mail in your ballot, there are ballot boxes that are all over the county. They're usually at city halls or I think at fire stations, police stations. I know
Yeah,
they have them at DMVs here in Jefferson County
yeah,
and the different city halls. Each City Hall has a ballot drop off. So, I mean, it's not really hard to get your ballot turned in.
Well, if these states want to do that, I think it's great. But I think instead of trying to hurry up and get it done for this election, they need to take the next two elections to build up.
It should have
Instead they're just
started during their primary season.
Yeah.
That would have given them kind of like, okay, what can we do better for the general election? It's going to be a big mess.
It is, and it's like I think it was Steve said earlier that they want this to be a contended election so that they can't confirm it and ends up going to Nancy Pelosi.
Yeah, that's right. I was just going to say that.
Yeah. And yeah. So, anyways, while I was gone for a few minutes, did you talk about the great DNC infomercial? I mean, the convention.
No, I did. Well, the convention. Yeah. No, that was going to be the next thing we were going to jump into.
Okay.
Last week was the DNC convention, and boy, I heard some whoppers. Here's Barack Obama. Was he at Independence Hall?
I'm not sure. I didn't even see where he was at. I just couldn't stomach listening to him.
Talking about the Constitution. I'm like, wait a minute. You folks hate the Constitution. You want to do away with the First Amendment, the Second Amendment, the Fourth Amendment, and the voting rights. You want to get rid of all of that. So don't tell me you support the Constitution when everything you try to push through legislatively is unconstitutional. And then you put liberal judges on the bench who interpret the Constitution in their own twisted way.
Yeah. I tell you what, that's got to be the silliest convention. I mean, poor Biden. He just was like one of the guys. I was listening to one of the talk show people, and when Jill Biden or Dr. Biden, when she was introducing him, he comes out to give her a hug and all that, and he said they thought he was supposed to say Jill Biden, but it sounded like he said, and they listened to it 3 or 4 times, he was calling her Joe Biden.
Oh God!
He didn't even know who he was or who she was.
Oh man!
And it's sad. It's just
I know. It was nothing but a Trump bash fest.
Yeah.
Trump did this, Trump did that, and Biden was talking about we gotta shine the light into the darkness. I'm like going, you gotta be kidding! You guys are the darkness.
I was going to say,
because you guys are the haters. You guys are the emotional people that have so much raging hatred for Donald Trump. You're screwing yourself.
Well, I was thinking if you put the flashlight up to Biden's ear, it would shine into the darkness because it's just a blank, dark, black hole of a void inside that head. So that's where the darkness is at, in that black hole where his brain used to be.
Yeah. Well, and then there's Kamala Harris when she, oh man, there is a piece of work. She's talking about Donald Trump saying, yeah, I could see a criminal or what was it that she was trying to say?
I don't remember.
But a bully when I see one. I'm like, oh, wait a minute, lady. You're the one that withheld information that would have freed someone on death row.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, there's Kamala Harris. Yeah, if that ticket wins, one of two things is going to happen. Either our country will be completely destroyed, which it will be anyways,
Yeah.
or there's going to be the biggest revolution you ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's a lot of people they're ready to do what they got to do to keep this country,
Well, and Kamala Harris, she's talking about confiscating guns. And I mean, how is that helping? How is that helping to feed the poor and house the homeless?
Yeah,
You know,
it's not.
I mean, all of their economic policies are just nuts. That they don't work. I mean, you look at all the communist countries in the past 70 years or more.
Yeah,
they all fell apart.
Well,
and Bernie Sanders likes to talk about the Scandinavian countries. They're not socialists anymore. They tried it in the 70s, and then they saw how bad it was. They went back to capitalism. Although they still have a really high tax rate to pay for the government services that they provide.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And it's just, Joe Biden supported a KKK member as best man at his wedding.
Yeah, that was Robert Byrd.
Robert Byrd, yeah. Well, look at what Hillary said about it. I thought the funniest thing I heard was them talking about Bill Clinton was lecturing Obama on what to use the Oval Office for. I think he used it for something very non-political.
Yeah. Well, and also Bill Clinton, when he spoke at the convention talking about Trump, perverting the Oval Office. I'm like, what? Excuse me? You're the guy that was
yeah, exactly. That's
relations under the desk there.
Yeah.
Of
course, it depends, what the meaning of is. That's where it all fell apart.
Yeah.
What the meaning of is. Jesus. To me, this is the last dying, gasping breath of a party that was a bunch of privileged old white farts for since the days of the carpetbaggers, you know, and they're trying to keep themselves relevant by changing to what the anarchists want. Yeah. And they're trying to set, because, here's the thing. They're trying to be the new cool, party, we're in touch. And yet they got some demented old white fart, that's older than me and got less brain cells than I do right now. And that's who they're putting forward. And even with Bernie, Bernie is just as bad, because they put Obama up there, and that turned into a Charlie Foxtrot of a magnitude 10, but so they're still trying to get like Jaber, so much for being woke, man, if that's what being woke is, I'm going back to sleep.
Yeah. Well, have you noticed the Biden ads on YouTube talking about, his son died of brain cancer. His wife and daughter were killed in a car wreck. And they're trying to use that sympathy to garner votes. And former Governor John Hickenlooper's trying to do the same thing, but he's not running against Cory Gardner. He's running against Trump in his ads, saying how Trump has done a horrible job and blah, blah. He's not even mentioning Cory Gardner.
Yeah.
So
it's just,
I just hope Cory holds on to his seat and that Trump wins, holds on to the Senate, And it'd really be nice if they could flip
You won the House.
the House
Yeah.
back to our side, and then we could have at least a couple years to get more things done to turn this economy around. And but you know what's going to happen? These states that have Democrat governors and legislatures, they're going to do everything they can to tank their economy to keep
Yeah.
our economy down. That's
Yeah.
what this whole pandemic thing
Is all
was
about. Yeah.
was to
Tank the
try
economy.
to drive the economy into the toilet, to blame Trump.
Well, the whole thing is I was having a thought during all that, and it just went away.
Welcome to the club.
Oh, yeah. I know what it was. If we do win the House and we stay in control of the Senate, and we, of course, keep the White House, the Republicans actually need to, get off the pot. They need to quit just sitting there with their legs a dangling. They need to get up there and either crap or get off the pot, because
Right.
we had the first 2 years, and the House didn't present anything. Every time they've had the chance, the House has just, screwed it up.
Right.
Yeah, Paul Ryan was a disaster.
Well, Paul Ryan's not in the Congress anymore. He retired, and the leader of the minority leader right now is Kevin McCarthy of California.
Yeah.
And I met Kevin a few years back when he came to the Arapahoe County Lincoln Day dinner.
Okay.
That was several years ago.
Yeah.
When I had money and I could go to those shindigs.
Yeah. We really need to, as a party, need to figure out what's going on and why. If we lose this, well, there's no point after it, and it's going to be so. Because what will happen is Biden will resign in 6 months, after he's inaugurated because of health concerns or whatever, and Kamala Harris will step up. She'll pick another bleeding heart liberal, socialist. I don't know what they are flying around. Yeah, something is bugging me. But anyways, they'll pick somebody like-minded, and then we'll have, so they'll make sure they get reelected, and then we're talking 8 years. No, we're talking, let's see, 16. We could have 16 years before we could get control back if we aren't careful.
Right.
We don't maintain it right now and start building our party up so that we have somebody step up. I think Pence will probably run for president, after Trump's over. But Agent K, it is a scary future. So we need to make sure we get everybody out there to vote. The only way Pelosi would take over is if they don't decide they don't decide.
Yeah, by a certain date.
By a certain date, I think 28th of December, something like that.
Yeah, something like
when they have to, actually, they not even that. I think it's like the 3rd of January or 5th of January when they'll go to the House and the Senate and they'll vote.
That's
actually, Senate.
The new senators and the Senate and the House are they go back to the Capitol there. That's when they start. They start in January, early January, and then the inauguration is on the 20th. So,
but there's one point where if it's a contested election and they can't make the decision, it can't be verified, then it goes in front of the House for the election.
Right.
And they get to, whoever controls the House gets to elect the president.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then if that can't be decided, if it's a split 50-50, then it will go to Nancy Pelosi,
And that's only happened twice.
Oh, where
the House picked the president. I think it was
2 times.
I think it was John Quincy Adams, and then another one was I think it was Garfield was the other one
Garfield, yeah, yeah,
because the electoral, nobody got a majority of the
of the
electoral vote,
Electoral College, yeah,
and so it went to the House, and they said, okay, who's got the most? Who has the majority?
right,
I guess popular
yeah,
vote, and
yeah,
that's how they picked the press. But to the rescue, starting tomorrow, we have the RNC convention oh yeah, it's still in North Carolina, and some good friends of mine are are there, and they have all their credentials and their mask on, and so they will be there. And there's already a list of who's going to be speaking, which that'll be interesting
right.
to hear that.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing a little bit and uh, uh, hearing a little bit more about what they're going to do, because the Republicans, this is theirs to lose. I mean,
Yeah.
it sounds bad, but yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think we can, if we lose this, it's our own fault,
Yeah.
because we've really got somebody we could stand behind. This has been the problem, and this is what they've done for years. They've infiltrated the conservative movement with these guys that ended up becoming never Trumpers. Some of those spoke at the DNC, like
Yeah.
Mitt
Kasich.
Romney,
Yeah.
Kasich, yeah.
Was
Kasich.
Romney there too?
No, I don't think he was there, but he said he wasn't voting for Trump.
Yeah.
But I did email him and asked if he said he was going to write somebody's name in. I told him to
Oh,
write
that's
mine in.
right. Yeah, some guy named the Grumpy Vlogger.
Yeah, I asked him to write in the name for if he's going to, hey, if they want to waste their votes, at least waste them on somebody like me.
Yep, that's true. That's true.
That would be a hoot if I showed up on the radars. Could you just see the news?
Guy.
Yeah, who's the grumpy vlogger?
Kanye West.
Yeah,
Kanye
it'd be
West had
funnier.
to drop out, it looked like, because he didn't fill out all the forms in time. I guess the 20th was the last day. So
yeah.
I gather you got all your paperwork in, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I got it all in. Yeah. I put somebody else's name on it, but yeah.
Jim Republican ticket. There we go.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
So
Jaber's right. Yeah, they're basically were sore losers who couldn't be president. Didn't Kasich, wasn't he one that came out in support of Trump back? Didn't he work with Trump for a small period during the transition? Who was that? That was. I
don't think so.
Which one of the governors was it?
From back?
Okay, he was.
Before when he. I think this was after he was nominated. He decided he was a never Trumper. Yeah.
Okay. Well, there was one of the governors that was like one of the last 4 or 5 guys to drop out back in 2016, and he ended up being part of the transition team. And I can't remember who that was now.
Oh yeah. Okay. Hey, Mike Roach, welcome to the show, and Tim Jackson, welcome. All right.
We got a good crowd here today.
What I wanted to talk about to kind of close out the show here is, how about that governor of South Dakota? Huh? Boy, she's really lighting them up. She'll be one of the speakers this week.
Yes, yeah. She's got a lot going for her. She's I can't remember what because I saw something about her this week, and I assume that's what you're alluding to, but I slept since then.
Yeah, she's the only state that didn't shut down, that didn't have any mass mandates.
Right.
Had the lowest rates per 100,000 of any state in the country. Yeah. And it goes to show all of these shutdowns and mandates to wear masks were just terrible. What it did was it spread it made it worse, is what it is, because what it was doing was it was keeping people enclosed, and they were
Right.
already sick, and then when they finally went out,
Yeah.
That's when the disease really took off. If we would just, done what we always did after every flu season, wouldn't have been as bad. A lot fewer people would have died. And look at all the states that had the biggest restrictions, had the highest death rates, had the highest
Absolutely,
counts of COVID, whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that thing.
I was just reading what Mike said. Plus, she's a babe. Yeah, he put plus she's a babe. Yeah.
Yes, she is. Christy Nome. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And plus, if I'm not mistaken, I think she likes guns. So
yes, she is.
Everything's just getting better and better about her.
Uh-huh.
And they're not accepting. Yeah, I did hear that. Yep. I had to. Part of my problem is I hurt my back this last week, and I can barely move. So I've been taking muscle relaxers, which is, the brain's a muscle, and it's kind of relaxed part of it. Yeah.
Right. Oh, I've been there. That was several years ago when my back went out, and I missed a few days of work because it just hurt so bad that I couldn't get to the bathroom. I mean, I had to crawl to get to the bathroom because I couldn't
Today it's
walk.
a little better, but boy, for the last week, it's just been...
just don't push yourself. Yeah. Just take it easy. And just kind of...
I just hobble along, and I'm probably going to have to start using my crutches again because that'll keep some of the pressure off the collapsed spine, part of my spine. So
there you go.
I think I'm going to order some new styles, but they got some newer ones. They're a lot.
Yeah, get that. So. Get a new spine, Mister.
Well,
get new backbone.
Yeah, that's I've got plenty of backbone in the mouth to go with it. The problem is I don't have the rest of the body that's any good.
Well, Mike, if you go to Rapid City, is I think it's the biggest city in South Dakota, and it's not. I mean, it gets cold there, but God, the summers are a lot nicer. I mean, if Colorado wasn't so screwed up, I would spend the rest of my life here, but it's just going down the tubes right now. And
with the way things are now.
After this election, hopefully we get turn it around here in Colorado. We just have too many people they don't want to unite. We want. You got to be strict this way. No, we got to, have the people that are the right fit for that district. Because
it started back when in the 60s and 70s when all of like the Kennedys from back east, and you had all the movie stars are coming out there to ski, Yep.
They started
started moving in, started buying homes there for their ski lodges or for their summer vacations and stuff.
Right.
And it just started. That's when Colorado started going downhill. Is when I hate to say it, when they started letting all those out of staters come in.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. And
so let's give it another 10 minutes, then we can make it a full hour here. So.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we got all these people moving in from states that, they screwed up because they voted Democrat, and they want to escape the high taxes and the regulations. They come here,
and then turn it into another.
And it's like, and then they wonder why everything is going to hell here, why it's getting expensive, why their taxes are going through the roof. It's like, well, duh.
Well, that's it. They don't seem to understand that if you don't pay attention to your history, you're going to repeat the same mistakes, and that's that's yeah. It's just uncertain whether it changes by the hour there in South Dakota.
Yep. Well, it's the same thing here in Colorado too, because 5 minutes later we could be having a huge rainstorm here, or in the wintertime, it'll be nice and in the upper 40s, sunny day, looks like great. Next day we got a huge blizzard coming through.
Yeah, I was stationed at
below zero.
Yeah, I was stationed at Lowry for tech school. When I was in the Air Force, and I was in the marriage squadron, which meant we met one place and marched to class, and then marched to our class, and then after we got through, we marched back to that squadron headquarters, and then went off base. Well, we were marching along one time. This is October, and or late September. It was nice, warm day, short sleeve shirts. It was a good, comfortable, Indian summer type day. Hadn't had any snow to speak of. Well, everybody knew I had grown up in Denver, so we're marching along, and we saw these big dark clouds just rolling in, and it was maybe a 15 minute march to get to it wasn't even that far probably, but from the time we saw it roll in, I mean, it just rolled across us, and within less than 5 minutes, we were in a blizzard. You couldn't see the person in front of you. We had put our, because they said, when will this quit? And I said, don't know when, but just put your hand on the person in front of you, and we'll just march on till we get to we were covered in snow, and it just like literally in 5 minutes, it just changed from warm, early fall, comfortable weather, Indian summer type thing, to 5 inches of snow on the ground before we got out of there. It's just like, it seemed like it was just like, wasn't 5 inches, but sure as hell seemed like it. And Colorado, especially
here
over
in
there
Colorado, we get what's called upslope, where we get the wind from the east, and it goes up the mountains, and the moisture is drops out as snow. And then the springtime, we get the reverse, where the wind goes downhill, heats up, and that's called Chinook effect.
Chinook,
So, I mean, different places have their own weather. Florida, you have your usual afternoon showers. There, you'll have beautiful mornings, and by noon it starts clouding up, getting windy, and then around 2 o'clock, 2 o'clock, it starts raining. Same here in Denver. We'll get the monsoons that come up out of the Gulf of California, which is Baja area, and pumps that moist air right into Colorado, and we get our afternoon showers. So,
I was just looking at Jaybird. He's been GOP since 2005. I got at least 30 years on him.
Well, Mike says he's voted GOP since 80. And you know what? And that's when I started voting. Because, my first president was Ronald Reagan.
Yeah, I voted for, Gerald Ford was mine first one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And unfortunately, Jimmy Carter won.
Yeah, that's true.
But,
that's when the country really started turning, took a hard left turn because of Watergate. All the fallout from Watergate that just turned people against the Republican Party because of that. And
actually, let me answer it. Jaybird, I was actually the only reason I converted back to GOP is because we finally had somebody in Oklahoma that we could vote for. I've always been voted GOP. The problem was in the primaries, we didn't have anybody in Oklahoma that ran for our congressional districts or anything. And back when Hillary ran for the nomination against, what was that, 2008? Yeah,
Yeah.
2008. I voted for her to beat Obama and then re-registered as a Republican as soon as the primary was over. And that I would have done it the election before, but no, I did not vote for Obama. And I voted for whoever the hell ran against him. Was it Romney? No, who ran
It was
against him the first time?
it was that
Oh,
idiot out of Arizona, McCain.
yeah. McCain. Yeah.
Well, you know what? And the only reason I voted for McCain was because of Sarah Palin. I mean, I was so close to voting Libertarian that year because I hated McCain because he was such a jerk to George W. Bush that I wasn't going to vote for him. But when he brought in Sarah Palin, I thought, wow, I mean, it sounded like they were unstoppable, and then he just kind of,
threw her under the bus. Yeah.
I think he could have beaten Obama, but he just didn't want to come off as being kind of a jerk, I guess.
Yeah.
But hey,
Yeah, no, I've always been I was a registered Republican since I turned 18. And when I moved here after I got out of the service, which 81, I moved here. And I was a Republican when I moved here. But then I went down to vote in the primaries like I did out in California, like I did in Arizona and everywhere else. I said, oh, no, you can't. There's nobody running on the Republican ticket right now.
Right.
So I started back to college, and they had voter registration. I said, yeah, I need to change my party affiliation to Democrat, and I voted Democrat in the primaries only because I figured because there was never a Republican that ever ran on a ticket here, but until a lot of the seats, Democrat seats just went opposed for our congressmen. They just went unopposed.
I wanted to respond to Steve's comment. Sarah Palin never said that.
She didn't say that.
No, that was Tina Fey playing Sarah Palin on Saturday Night Live.
Saturday Night Live.
That's where everybody says that, yeah, I could see Russia from my house. And Sarah Palin never said that. Yep. And Jay Bird made a good comment that he did suspend his campaign. This was during the big housing bubble.
Housing bubble. Yeah.
Blew up and he suspended his campaign. That's what screwed up his chances of winning. Oh, Mike B is here. Welcome.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Listening in the background and
at the end.
Yeah. Well, he said he's been listening. He's just been enjoying his cup of coffee. Yeah. So.
Oh, Folgers in my cup.
Yep. Yeah, I had some too. And matter of fact, this is see, Steve, I do use the cup. I needed to wash my other cup. I need to switch. Oh, I still have some.
Mm-hmm. And you know what kind of ship that was?
The cutter? I don't know. The 3-masted ship, whatever it was.
Well, it says right up on top there.
The brig?
Yeah. There's the brigantine and the barkentine. And there's the clipper ship. And then there's
all right.
a schooner.
unless I saw
I
it in an
know
old
my
black and white
ships.
movie. Yeah, well, I don't know ships. I was in the Air Force. You know.
Well, my dad was in the Army. He still knew a lot about sailing vessels.
I I've just never, I'm not one to go on the. Does anybody watch JPC or he made a satirical video a couple of weeks ago talking about 4 steps to staying healthy in 2020? Wear a mask, don't exercise, stay inside. Mel just dropped in just at the end of the
Hey,
show.
Al. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, just as we're
So,
getting ready to.
next week, I'll remember to click on the right icon.
Yeah, I bet we were live on one of your other channels, right?
Well, it was the one that was from my Facebook, I think it was.
Oh, yeah.
So I'll have to go check my arts place on Facebook to see
Facebook, yeah.
Yeah, that might be interesting.
While we're sitting here talking, you're like, why didn't this working? I can't see it working. Yeah, that'd be funny.
All right, well, guys, we've done an hour. I want to thank everybody for jumping into the show. Sorry about the delay. We had some technical issues, mostly on my side. It wasn't a software issue like with Oz by Drone.
Right.
So
yeah, yours was strictly short between the headsets.
That's right. Okay. Well, Steve, thanks for jumping in. I want to thank everybody for coming to the show. Ray Kelly, Steve Carpenter, Mike Roach, Agent K. I wish I knew what his name was. Mel, Joe of Jaybird, and who else? Mike B. And the other Mike.
Yeah, BMAX aerial video. Visuals.
Okay, so I think that's all the rest of the castaways in the chat. I want to thank you all. Have a great Sunday and God bless you. See you guys next week. Bye-bye.